Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. I'm always asked, what's the secret to success? But there are no secrets. Be humble, be hungry, and always be the hardest worker in the room. I like to use the hard times in the past to motivate me today. Life is anything but predictable. With drive and a bit of talent, you can move mountains. I know, I've done it. I've learned never to say never. If I love you, I show you I love you every day. Little things, big things. Not only do I think being nice and kind is easy, but being kind, in my opinion, is important. I break ground. I trailblaze. For me, training is my meditation. My yoga, hiking, biking all rolled into one. Wake up early in the morning, generally around 4 o'clock, and I'll do my cardio on an empty stomach. Stretch, have a big breakfast, and then I'll go train. I've never gone wrong trusting my gut. I do all my own stunts. I'm kidding. I think there are a number of things that you can do to encourage your kids' dreams, but I do believe in speaking by experience of having a lot of help along the way, stumbling in the past. We've all stumbled, and we certainly all deserve to get up and walk again. I knew credibility would come only in time and through earnest performances. Success that I've been lucky enough to get, that doesn't happen unless the home life is solid. My goal was never to be the loudest or the craziest. It was to be the most entertaining. I love making people laugh and feel good, and that's awesome and special for me to be able to do that. But there really is nothing like kicking ass, whether it's on a major scale or whether it's in more of a dramatic fashion. Being physical and taking care of business, the old-fashioned way, is something that I love doing. You've got to keep your finger on the pulse of what your audience is thinking and know what they'll accept from you. For me, life is about experience and being a good person. The more conflict and contrast you have with a character makes it more interesting. People who put themselves on the line and sacrifice their own safety for the greater good and for others, and anyone in any profession whose concern is the welfare for other people instead of the individual, are inspiring and important. I put the costume on and said, "It's not very comfortable, but it looks amazing, so it's all good." Being a superhero is a lot of fun. I feel like I'm ready for any dangerous situation that might come my way, provided I have a hammer on me. Growing up, my parents were my heroes in the way they conducted their lives. You get the part, sign the contract, and start to realize millions of people follow this guy and know more about your character than you do. Growing up, I always loved films that transport you to another world and has things you never see in everyday life. I love that Viking era, but also they're a fatalistic people, and that dictated their fearlessness in battle and approach to life. My father and I are very similar and have a wonderful relationship, but we both stand by our opinions. Work all paled into the background as soon as I had a baby. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shot. To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. Life could be wonderful if people would leave you alone. Nothing is permanent in this wicked world, not even our troubles. A man's true character comes out when he's drunk. Man as an individual is a genius, but men in the mass form the headless monster, a great brutish idiot that goes where prodded. This is a ruthless world, and one must be ruthless to cope with it. We think too much and feel too little. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. I am at peace with God. My conflict is with man. Failure is unimportant. It takes courage to make a fool of yourself. I remain just one thing and one thing only, and that is a clown. It places me on a far higher plane than any politician. Laughter is the tonic, the relief, the surcease for pain. I suppose that's one of the ironies of life, doing the wrong thing at the right moment. The saddest thing I can imagine is to get used to luxury. What do you want a meaning for? Life is a desire, not a meaning. In the end, everything is a gag. To help a friend in need is easy, but to give him your time is not always opportune. I'd sooner be called a successful crook than a destitute monarch. All my pictures are built around the idea of getting in trouble, and so giving me the chance to be desperately serious in my attempt to appear as a normal little gentleman. We might as well die as to go on living like this. That is why, no matter how desperate the predicament is, I'm always very much in earnest about clutching my cane, straightening my derby hat and fixing my tie, even though I have just landed on my head. I don't believe that the public knows what it wants. This is the conclusion that I have drawn from my career. Happiness is overrated. There has to be conflict in life. Seeing the world is the best education you can get. You see sorrow and you also see great spirit and will to survive. I always like those moments of epiphany when you have the next destination. Actions speak louder than words, and it's no more true than with your kids. I'm a bit of a loner, you know. I'm more quiet by nature, and coming from, hillbilly country, I'm probably more reserved. I grew up very religious, and I don't have a great relationship with religion. When you see a person, do you just concentrate on their looks? It's just a first impression. Then there's someone who doesn't catch your eye immediately, but you talk to them, and they become the most beautiful thing in the world. To leave home, it's got to be worth leaving. I get enraged when people start telling other people how to live their lives. One of the greatest, smartest things I ever did was give my kids Angie as their mom. She is such a great mom. I think that we all do heroic things, but hero is not a noun, it's a verb. The lesson is that you can still make mistakes and be forgiven. I think that the power is the principle of moving forward, as though you have the confidence to move forward, eventually gives you confidence when you look back and see what you've done. It's hard to get out of the barrel. It's slippery around the edges and people are happy to see you fall back in. I always think part of success is being able to replicate results, taking what is interesting or viable about yourself as a professional person and seeing if you bring it into different situations with similar results. I guess the issue for me is to keep things dynamic. I think you end up doing the stuff you were supposed to do at the time you were supposed to do it. Look, even bad years are pretty good years, I think. I want to give myself the freedom not to have to be projecting my whole life ahead. Nothing pleases me more than when somebody who was awe-inspired to be working with me realizes I'm just another schmuck that they're bored of hanging out with on a set. I love that moment. I like it when that persistent illusion is smashed. Acting is always a challenge. I was kind of like chasing my tail and trying to do the right thing, and was a little bit stupid. Or irresponsible, which is the same thing, I guess. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to our channel, and you will always stay informed about new videos.